This message goes out to all the teachers, coaches, people who think they're experts, but people don't believe them, educators, anyone who's in that boat, anybody in that situation where you think you're an expert, you want people to know you're an expert or believe that you're an expert, but people just don't believe you. If that's the problem you're facing, I have a few words for you. I've positioned myself as an expert a few different times in a few different ways. First, it was with an education business selling language learning, selling English lessons. I had to go from being a teacher like everybody else out there on the market and then making them see why they need to pay me more money than everyone else and then not even work with me, work with other people, work with my teammates, work with other teachers who I trained and coached. So how do you do that, right? Now, it's not so difficult. It's not really magic, but a lot of people out there are like, well, Chris, how do you do that? I don't know how to do that. I want to keep my prices low, right? Everybody else on the market is decreasing their price. Somebody in the Philippines is charging $2 an hour. I hear these stories all the time and they're such excuses. If you are teaching something online or offline and you're trying to position yourself as an expert, you're probably making some of these mistakes. And I'm going to go through them and I'm also going to tell you, the right way to do it and how to position yourself. But there's a lot of videos on this channel that will help you with that stuff. And then there's a link under the video that goes to a training that I have and you can learn more there and you can get my help if you really need it. I've got offers and position offers for $25,000, $50,000, $100,000, helped other people do that too, and then sell them. And how do you do that, right? Like if you're a teacher right now, a school teacher, or maybe you're a private teacher, or maybe you're a coach, maybe whatever word you use to describe yourself, you might be thinking, how can I even imagine selling something for $25,000 or $50,000? I can teach you that. But in this video, I'm going to tell you some, common mistakes that you just want to avoid. So the first thing here is what I call the martyr mentality. And the martyr mentality is basically the story that you probably tell yourself and then you tell other people, which is that, I'm just doing something very good and altruistic. I am just helping people, right? Helping people is more important to me than making money. Helping people is more important to me than being famous or something like that, right? And honestly, money doesn't really matter, and being famous definitely doesn't matter, but those things help you to be positioned as an expert. If you're charging a dirt cheap price for your work, then why would anyone believe that you're an expert? You get in front of people and they don't see you as an expert, and you've been working for 20 years, 30 years, 50 years. I've met some people, they're teachers for 50 years. And then when we talk about what they offer and how they're going to help people, that's all they talk about is how they have 50 years of experience. Like their experience is just going to speak for them when they meet a new person. It's not. A lot of times they'll say, well, I have a diploma. I have a degree. They think that is going to solidify their position as an expert. It's not. Wake up call. It's not. When you tell people you need to believe that I'm an expert because this piece of paper says so, to me, that's like when you're walking down the street with somebody that's wearing a "I'm with stupid" shirt and it's pointing to you. Like, it doesn't make any sense at all. You're not an expert because a piece of paper says so. You're an expert because you show that you're an expert. And there are actions that you have to take to show that you're an expert. So the martyr mentality is when you say that, basically I'm the reincarnation of Mother Teresa. I'm just out here helping people, and I just do it to help, not for any other reason. If you really were an expert and you really wanted to help people, then you would be trying to help more people. Mother Teresa didn't hide in a basement and just help like 2 people. She went out there and she became famous. She got funded. That's what a true expert does. So you got to drop the martyr mentality, because if that's what you were really doing, then you would be doing it at a larger scale. It would take time for you to figure that out. There are ways to get bigger and get more well known like an expert does. And so if you were truly an expert and you were continually growing and becoming more of an expert, then you would be pursuing that. Let's drop all of those excuses. Another thing that a lot of people say is like, I can't compete in the market. All the prices are cheap. They're low. Well, tell me this. If you go to a doctor and they're doing business out of a trailer, like a mobile home, and their prices are dirt cheap, you're not going to think they're an expert. There's another doctor, he costs 10 times, 100 times more. He's in the hospital. He's in a great building. Everything's very expensive. It's expensive to work with him. He's an expert. You automatically get the feeling that he's an expert. Now, we're not talking about what the person knows inside their head. We're just talking about what they're showing us, what they can prove to us, how they can make us think, right? Because that's what we're talking about here, really. How can you you demonstrate to other people that you are an expert? How can you solidify that position of being an expert? It's not really about the knowledge that you have in your head. It's about how you can take that knowledge and then show that to people. You have to be able to demonstrate it. A lot of people who are educating others, they fall into this trap. They say, I have all this experience, I have all these qualifications, and those are going to speak for me. And they say, I'm just such a good person, I'm just trying to help everybody, and that's going to speak for me. But it's not. You have to actually prove it. You have to demonstrate it. You have to show it. Otherwise, nobody's going to believe that. And so what you really want to do is you want to find a way for you to be able to show new people that you are an expert. This is one of the things that I work with people on, right? Link under the video. Haha. Subscribe to this channel. See more videos like this, because I'm going to show you different ways to think about how you sell what you know. And it is about selling it. It's not about giving it away for free. It's about selling it. Sure, there's free stuff, like you'll find a link down there with something free. You'll find a link with something paid. My time is not cheap. I'm an expert. I'm not a below average practitioner in this field. If you're above average, then your prices are going to be above average. Your time is worth more. That's how you want to think of it too. The biggest thing that you're doing to show people that you're not an expert, if you're having this problem where people aren't really respecting you, or where they're not paying you the amount that you want to be paid. When we come to that point, like not getting paid what you want to be paid or what you think you're worth, usually like 90% of the time when I work with someone on that, it's a confidence issue. Like if you're not even confident to charge a high price for what you do, then you yourself must not believe that you really get an outstanding above average result for people. If you did, then you would understand why you're worth more, and you wouldn't feel shy or embarrassed or feel bad asking for it. You're not just trying to help people. You're trying to establish that you're an expert so that people respect what you help them with. This is another problem with this positioning yourself as just some kind of helper or altruistic person that isn't interested in monetizing your knowledge or isn't interested in being well known for what you do. If you are just out there not actually communicating that you have expert level, then people are not going to respect you. Sure, they'll respect you as a human being, they'll respect you personally to your face, but they're not going to take it as seriously. Just think about it. When you invest money, if you pay $100 for something, you are more likely to throw it away when you're done using it instead of something that you paid $10,000 for, $100,000 for. Like, what do you pay $100,000 for? Some people pay for university and pay $100,000, a car, $100,000, a house, a cheap one. Nowadays, $100,000 isn't even close, but you see what I'm saying? Like, these are big, significant purchases that you think are valuable that you don't just throw away. But when someone charges $10, $100, then it doesn't seem so significant. You don't have to respect it as much because you know that you could go get another one. I'm not saying that that's what you do. Like, I'm very frugal about my money. I don't throw my money away like that either, right? But I do understand that something that costs $100, I can get it again very easily. Whereas something that costs $100,000, it's not going to be a problem for me. But the average person out there, that's going to be a giant purchase in their lifetime. So they're not just going to throw it away. And so you might be in that situation. If you're thinking about how you can make people understand that you are an expert, then you're probably not ready to pay such a large amount. And that might also be one of the issues, because experts buy from other experts. Experts respect other experts. And most of the people who I talk to with this problem, one of the first things that I address is people won't pay this high price, Chris. They think that nobody will pay that price because they've never established themselves properly before making that offer. They don't have the right offer. That's why I help them with that. But they do pay me a large amount to get started because they know that I can help them with that. And so I have to correct that thinking. One of the things I have to say to them regularly when I start with a new person is they say that nobody else will pay that high price, but I say, but you paid me that high price. You see how that works? Like, if you paid me, then that means that people do pay other people this high price. And that means that there are other people who will pay you. You just have to be positioned as a true expert, not a fake expert, not an on-paper expert, but someone who can actually demonstrate it in their interaction with you. They can show you the results, like I can. And that's why people work with me and pay me these large amounts, because they know that they're going to get it back so easily. It's just a small shift. And so when you start thinking a little differently and you start actually owning up owning up to your own decisions and thought processes behind this, then you'll see that the only reason that people really don't see you as an expert right now is because of what you are doing to tell them that you're not an expert of that level. So that's really all I have to say about this topic today. You can watch more videos on this channel, or you can take action. You can click the link under this video and we can get on a call and I can set you straight. And by set you straight, I don't mean I'm going to criticize or put you down or anything like that. What I mean is I'm just going to honestly share what I know and try to get you in the right position so that you can afford to find experts like me and pay them. You have to make some changes to be able to afford that first. I'm not going to try to sell you something you can't afford. I'm not going to try to sell you anything at all if you're not in the right position already. This is a big shift that you have to make. And until you're ready to do that, then you're never even going to be able to afford to find an expert to help you with this kind of problem. And you see, that's another issue that most people have when they're trying to prove that they're an expert to someone else. They just take anybody and everybody. You have to be selective. You have to find the people who are ready. And most of the people who watch a video like this are just watching videos. So they're just going to go to the next video. There's a small percentage who are actually ready. And those are the ones who click the link, some of them. And then we get on a call, we talk. And then after that, I decide, there's like 5% of those people who are actually ready. And so most of them, I just say, no, we're not ready. Go get my free resource instead. And the other people, I say, all right, we're ready, but I've got a waiting list because there's a lot of people who want to work with me. Right now, you have that decision. You can watch the next video or you can click the link, take action. And, one of those links will be to book a call. And that's really all I have to say. Now it's up to you.